Maybe. Wait. Oh, believe me when I said I think they'll be changed because I'm sitting beside the person that is literally writing the code to change it. Shit. You got me. That was not the response I was at all expecting to hear. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. I think there's maybe a little too much overlap between it and something like the Stalwart, but you can't really directly one-to-one compare 60 straight rounds to 250 rounds. It's not the same ballpark. Like, it's not even the same sport. Like, it's Little League to majors. I don't know. I also haven't unlocked it yet, so I have not been able to fully ascertain how ridiculous it is. So you might just be, like, 100% ahead of me on that. But I don't think anything in this game is woefully overpowered anymore. I think weapon customization has very much so leveled the playing field against some of the stronger weapons. Where's the other guy? I know he's coming. Where's he at? Am I leading too hard? I did lean way too hard. I'm tiny on the official Discord. I don't post there because I'm not allowed, but I've been writing lore for General Brash for over 2 years. Oh, legitimately? Oh my god! Please tell me he didn't hit the hell bomb. Oh, he didn't hit the hell bomb. He didn't hit the hell bomb. Oh, we would have been fucked. We would have been so screwed. Okay, so wait. Do you only post canon lore then? Because if you only post canon lore, then I just got a lore dump on my YouTube about the name for Orbital Walking Barrage and General Brash's marches, his morning parade. I'm also here for the animation for that getting produced. Just generically expected General Brash going out on a morning parade and then just being immediately led by a 380 walking barrage just to make sure he has a nice flat ground of no objects or obstacles in his way to walk through. And it's probably just the exact same 380 barrage we had like 3 days ago. Where the moment it hits the ground, it's just orbital devastation in that general direction. I mean, that's a very like top tier dev thing to do. Very top tier dev thing to do. I often compare you guys to Digital Extremes. I actually see it like fairly often against people who know like how hard it is to do what y'all do. Digital Extremes does a lot of similar stuff, or has been doing a lot of similar stuff, and like other than the monthly dev streams, I've been collecting those facts of Brash ever since I started in writing HD lore. Gotcha. That's hilarious. Actually, though. But yeah, like I've been comparing Arrowhead to Digital Extremes because like it's just a really good dev group whose communication is like almost unmatched with their community, and they've got their finger on the pulse of everything their player base wants, and they're just in the tough spot of, well, we want to make that, but time is not a fluid object for us. We can't just shift it how we desire. We have to put up with the fact that we only have so much in a given week. Oh god, this guy needs a team reload, and I don't have one. Whew. I don't get paid to be here in someone's stream. We don't get anything more out of it than to see the fans having fun. That's why our HD2 memes are the best on the net. I mean, that's also hard facts too, right? Like the HD2 community and their ability to meme is quite impressive. Is this guy gonna get up there? Hold on, brother. I got you. Hold on. Oh shit. No, 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 S4, come on. We can do this together. We can team hop up there. I guess not. I guess I can't even get up there. I'm too short. I mean, that's pretty cool though. If you're like off work and you enjoy what you're doing enough that you're just like, yeah, I just want to watch somebody stream this. That's a great mind state to be in too, right? That's probably one of the toughest feats to pull off, especially in modern gaming with how like demanding and picking people are. All the content is my years in WoW. Yikes. So you got Asmongold years in WoW, or did you just play the game for the fun of it? Who loaded this seep? It's all static. That's actually pretty cool though for Asmon to pull you in. I was the gnome that RP walked through all of Classic, spent the entire pandemic locked inside, so I literally walked through Classic and all of its content. That's a lot. That is a ton of time investment. What did you do? Like 10-hour days on that? Like even through pandemic, that's still a lot of time. That's gonna take you a while. Did you start from scratch? Because if you started from scratch, even longer. I did it again in TBC, and then I did it again in Wraith Classic. See, I wasn't so I'm only about to be 30. So I'm like I'm not realistically old enough for like the amount of time investment some people put into WoW Classic. I guess I kind of technically am, but I wasn't like deep into PC gaming at the time. My family didn't have the money to afford like the type of hardware required to play games at any sort of level. Like we had some very, very basic stuff, just enough to basically get homework done. 200 videos documenting like 3 years worth of RP walking through raids, quest attunements, literally everything all done without running. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. Holy crap. So I started to write lore for Helldivers. I'm fucking nuts, right? Yeah, well, that's all lore buffs, right? Like that is literally every single lore master in every game. They're all insane. And they have to be because you're basically running a and please don't take this offensively. Like you're basically like as close to autistic as possible with how obsessive and like deeply knowledgeable you are on a singular like specific subject or like a small grouping of subjects. Because I've met lore masters before, and like the level of obsession some of them have with the things they're like excited about. There's like, yeah, I'm on the spectrum. I'm like, okay, like that checks out. Joel is a real person and he's mad at you guys. I mean, Joel has every right to be mad at us. Every single time he does something cool, all we do is bitch. He's like, I worked really hard on this, and they're mad. Well, yeah, we're idiots. Like, we have no idea what's going on. My entire day in, day out is new bug planet under attack, obliterate. Like so Joel does something cool, and my first response is what I've been trained to do: obliterate. Like y'all said it yourselves. With the Sony thing, you sat there and trained an entire community for 8 months how to like come together and work as a team, and then you introduced a change that we didn't like, or was it 8 months or like 6 months? And then you introduced a change that we didn't like, and what was the first thing we did? We got together and worked as a team. To horrifying effectiveness, too. This is not mine. Is Ares gonna drop? I guess not. Pop to a new one. Oh, he said BRB. I'm just brain dead. Poor Joel, though. I actually feel so bad for like 90% of Arrowhead because this latest update was like gourmet cooking, and all we've said for 3 straight months is where me content, where me content at bang bang bang. They say Sony only took 3 days to stop the account linking requirement. In reality, it was because General Brash wasn't told until the 4th. Well, if you want something done right, you send an expert, right? I'm gonna do the AP mines. I think they're. Hey, so I'm 90% certain AP mines use shrapnel. Is there a reason they were ignored? Like, you might not be able to answer that, but is there a reason they were ignored in the shrapnel changes for all the shrapnel weapons? If you know. Because, like, they definitely do, right? Like, they explode, and then there's little bits of shrapnel that fly up out of them. Oh, but maybe I'm also crazy and they got nerfed. I wonder. Like, accidentally. Yeah, no, that's my favorite misconception. I always have to correct people on that. I'm like, y'all realize Helldivers are like ridiculously effective special forces, right? And they're like, we're expendable. I'm like, only because of the jobs you're doing? Because being oh shit. The jobs that Helldivers are doing is like you have to expect them to be expendable because they're basically doing suicide missions. And the reason they're doing suicide missions is because they're the only ones we can count on to get it done with as little resources as possible. Like, people don't recognize how expensive a Helldiver is. I mean, like, each Helldiver has got to be worth more than a tactical nuke in terms of, like, overall expenditure. Somebody broke down how ridiculously, like, expensive our armor is compared to real-life equivalent stuff just because of the things we can survive. Damn, I really got that flesh mob to be strafing run by his own guys. But like, we get all this gear. These divers are trained to utilize all of it with 0 lag between usage. Like, every diver knows every weapon 100%. That's insane. The level of training required to do that. Woo! Helldivers. Okay, so the expendability comes from the fact that if a Helldiver does their job but dies in the process, it was still cheaper to waste them to allow the enemy to advance their war plans. Yeah, like, it just makes sense. And also, like, my other thought behind this is, if you send a Helldiver, there might be material to recover afterwards. If you just drop a tactical nuke, you've destroyed all of the infrastructure and everything. At least with a Helldiver, it's like, okay, this is a surgical nuke, and oh my god, oh, he broke my leg. Freaking harvester stole my legs. Give me those. Get him, friend. There we go. Okay, Super Earth is actually one big accountants department using logistics as its main form of currency. The cost of benefits factors are calculated well before engagements, as any good military would, right? Super Earth can't be the worst militant, like, organization ever. They would have to be the best. Otherwise, how would they have won the first Galactic War against, like, clearly inferior opponents? So, I've got a ton of friends who are constantly wondering, like, how deep the training goes for Helldivers. Like at least the basic Thief. Like you said, they're the equivalent of Rangers, but like there's always this argument of how soon they start, and I see the videos where it's like children over 7, I think is what it is, can join the military. So do they like actually start training in the military at 7, or is that just like, hey, we can get you recruited and then you sign like a recruitment contract and then we'll get to you at some point? Or is it just a, yeah, you're 7, okay, here's a rifle, get shooting. That's so much better. That's actually so much better than what I had thought. There's got to be a tax relief, right? There's got to be a tax incentive. No, Super Earth would never. No, you would have to give more in taxes, right? Like you'd have to up your taxes to send your kid to this. Super Earth would never voluntarily reduce taxes on its citizens. That doesn't make sense. And the citizens of Super Earth are better than asking for tax reductions. That's incredible. Oh my god. They start as early as 6 or 7 as long as they're able to hold a constitution. That's the prime requirement. Then they can join summer camp. Summer camp with big ass guns. That's amazing. Oh my god. That that's literally better than any answer I could have come up with in the short time I've had to really think about it. Actually, does the tax reductions are directly connected to it's reverse billionaires but with kids? That's amazing. But any good citizen, when you marry on Super Earth, one of your contractual obligations is to have a child in the first 3 years of being married. Well, yeah, that about checks out too. How else do we populate all of these planets? Jesus, this flesh mob is gonna fuck me up. Or is he? Eagle strafing run! Well, right, like... Shit! Me stumbling upon a monolith under Hellbomb and somehow responding with dive. Right on timing. It makes perfect sense that that the goal would be to have children, right? Like, otherwise, what's the true value of the form? Because if lives are as expendable as they are in some cases to Super Earth, you know, having a child and procreating would definitely seem like something they would heavily incentivize, if not require. Am I gonna die? Oh! Oh! Can I do it? No, I cannot do it. I will in fact run straight into the laser instead of picking up the AT weapon and looking like a badass. Good job, me. Y'all have to post on Valentine's Day. Y'all have to post C01T forms. You have to, like legitimate ones, like with Super Earth's uh like High Federation's seals of approval and everything, so that we can give them to our Valentines. I would honestly, I would pay for one. I would pay for a really nice one that actually looks like a very very almost like a college diploma level of quality. Big fan theory was Helldivers are not clones, but cloning on Super Earth is highly illegal. Oh, we're all clones. It was not utilized in human action, except for stims. So stims are basically like super stem cells. If I'm reading this correctly. I know the reason a lot of people thought we were clones is because we all had the little thing on our helmet. Was what a lot of people like pointed at. They were like, "Ah, yes, this is clearly where they implant the memories of the prior clone." And I'm like, "Bro, it's an oxygen feed." And then it came out like about a month ago. Piles was like, "Yeah, we had an animation for that and everything. It just never made it to launch." And I was like, "Yeah, it was probably annoying as hell to put that into the game every single time." Um, it was probably kind of slow, first of all. So it probably messed up how fast somebody could get back into the action. And then in order to make it not janky or crap, the animations had to be like slightly different every time. And so y'all had to find a way to randomize that animation over and over and over again so that it didn't seem like the same one every time. And that's a lot harder than people give game developers credit for, is creating stuff that seems real through like a little bit of randomization. Oh my. E-Girl 1, go! Random bullshit, go! Stims actually stand for standard treatment in millis. Oh, man. Oh, shit! I'm dead. Yep. Yep. I died. I knew that was coming the moment I realized I was in the middle of a strafing run. Well, here we are. Standard treatment in military situations is a hilarious acronym for stims. No one, no wonder they're non addictive. It's just standard treatment. It's sutures in a bottle. That's amazing. I'm gonna clip every ounce of this conversation, and I'm just gonna post it. Things people might not know about Helldivers. I'm super here for it. I mean, again, as I stated, Permacura is here to help, right? Like, as I said, I don't have a drug problem. I have a survival problem. If I'm addicted to anything, it's continuing the fight for democracy. Which, I argue is a. Oh my god. So some of the experimentations of Stim saw Helldivers unable to distinguish reality from threats, and we lost a lot of super Helldivers or super destroyers when retrieving said Helldivers. That is awful. That is an unfortunate waste of Super Earth's resources. General Brash would be proud. Yes! Let him know for me. Pass the info. Let him know the valiant last stand here on New Haven. Is there any validity to the theory that stims contain a portion of General Brash's genetic material? And that's the reason they're so effective at making us capable of incredible war feats? No, see, the OG General Brash was actually killed in action. He's like the Zorro of this universe. When he dies, a new one takes his place. The only surviving portion of the real Brash is his. Oh! Oh, that's even more like. Oh. That's kind of wild. That's like actually really crazy. That's that's a lore bomb and a half right there. So the OG General Brash was actually killed in action. He's the Zorro of this universe. When he dies, a new one takes his place. The only surviving portion of the real Brash is his digitally reconstructed voice being used on the PA system when you earn your cape and all the promotional material he's been presented in. Which I'm assuming also includes every single Brash Tactics video. That's friggin' dope. That's like incredibly deep lore right there. He's been dead for 100+ years, but lives on his successor. How are they selected? Are they like is John Helldiver the next General Brash when like the current one falls? Or is it just like constantly like this secret piece that everyone knows but doesn't know at the same time? John's his son in game. Highly, highly believable. So like is the kind of parallel with General Brash is like General Brash is the emperor of mankind sort of thing in like 40K? Is that the parallel that we're parodying here? Or is he just like this legendary figure meant to kind of just inspire the youth of tomorrow to like produce incredible results? That's so John. It's actually a catchphrase the kids say. Jeez. He's essentially the super Earth way of transitioning this generation of Sea soldiers into still believing in General Brash. You can see he is real. This is the son John held. Hey! Well, that's very religious. That's actually like a real I love how thought out all this stuff is. So like how long have you been part of the team? Like providing all this cuz like knowing all this is one thing, but like the time it takes to think through all this stuff is not a minuscule amount, right? I've only been working on lore this game since launch. About 1 month after launch, when the game exploded in popularity, it was obvious we needed to fill out the backstory. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have it filled out at that point, you kind of didn't really have much other choice, right? Especially with like it holding 750,000 players for 2.5 months. Wow, so you were hired. If you were hired a month after the game, then they immediately started kicking it into gear on getting people in. The General Brash jokes will be on point. I suspect the movie will flop. I doubt it will flop, to be completely honest. Even if it's like really campy and kind of bad, I think it still does well on account of the expectation is parody regardless, right? Like parody for the sake of it is I think what the main expectation is. I don't think anyone's expecting something very serious or deeply lore focused. I think what most people want is something that sticks kind of close to what the players experience, but doesn't lose the soul of just the sheer ridiculousness that is Helldivers most of the time. Because that's kind of the draw that keeps people coming back is like the gameplay is insane and the ridiculousness of okay, like the latest war bond, for instance, is just a fan service war bond. And it was a lot of things that a lot of people wanted, but the running theory that Super Earth is just like kind of running out of people to recruit for the war right now. And so we're now sending in like reserve guard parade rest people, and that's why we're equipping them with parade gear because it's what they've got at home to fight with is uh is exactly the kind of humorous storytelling and world building that we'd want. We'll see. We'll see a thief soldier from beginning to end earned his Helldiver escape and then see the real shit. I look. So I've seen some leaks, and I know I probably shouldn't get too far into leak territory online, but I'm not a propaganda commander. I'm not under NDA, so I can basically say kind of what I want at this point, and it should just be viewed heavily as speculation and hearsay. But the the mega cities that I've seen, like Iron Sights and people like that put out, where there's thief soldiers running around, accidentally, aimlessly getting just obliterated by the Helldivers who didn't realize they weren't enemies. Um, Oh, I hope I didn't kill that guy. That would make me very mad at myself if I killed him. It really looks like I killed him. Oopsies. Um, what? That guy died way too fast. So, the Thief soldiers just kind of running around, finally realizing what the Helldivers are doing day in and day out is just gonna be hilarious. I hope they're all voiced in like the most terrified voices ever. And there's just me holding down the trigger on my LMG, laughing maniacally as I gun down 300 squids in a single magazine. And the Thief soldier next to me is just like, "Dear gods, what is happening?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, this is Tuesday, bro." Stims heal broken bones, because one of the original ideas were stims contain nanites that refused materials, and all Helldivers are given supplements to gain bone density and what, metallic bone qualities? Metallic buildup, allowing for nanites to refuse your broken limbs by literally welding you back to health. Amazing. I always kind of figured we were, well, like, the equivalent of super soldiers anyway. Like, I love the videos that are constantly scaling Helldivers versus, like, ODST and stuff like that. Because I feel like people just severely underwank the average Helldiver. And we're actually kind of monstrous. Like, the damage that we soak up, the falls we take and keep moving, the hits we take and keep moving. Like, getting slammed in the back by a charger, thrown 30 miles across the battlefield, and just rolling on the floor and then getting up, dusting yourself off, cranking a stim and calling it good is insane. Like, that's such a durability feat. Oh, shit. One moment while I deal with this big lard of a... Yeah, he's dead now. I got him. I got him. He's dead. But yeah, like... It's such a funny thing when people, like, headcanon nerf Helldivers, and it's like, why are you nerfing a Helldiver? They're insane. Don't underplay them. The ragdoll effect, if that happened to be a regular human, they die. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Even like, even a moderately, like, well built up human is still gonna die to that. You know what I mean? Like, your average super soldier character in most games, canon, and everything like that is still gonna die to that. They just got hit by a truck. Like, actually, it's bigger than a truck because it's a living creature, so it weighs significantly more than its mass would insinuate. Partially cybernetic, but that was removed to lore and world building. So, well, I mean, like, the servo-assisted stuff is, like, clearly, like, these are grizzled veterans who just couldn't say no to going back to the fight. And so I got a cyber prosthesis. But that's not what you're talking about, right? You're, like, talking, what's the, like legitimate cyborg, where they're built underneath and they still look human, kind of like Dragon Ball androids, right? We still have partial cybernetics in the armor sets for additional throwing range, but that's not considered cybernetics in Super Earth. Those are just limb. Yeah, so they're prosthetics. You're talking like I said, like the androids in Dragon Ball, where it's like, ah, yes, this is subdermal, like, super cybernetics that are meant to replace all of this extra stuff. You have replaced irises and everything that are allowing augmented reality and things of that sort, right? That's the level you're discussing. Given ports for direct injection cybernetics to enhance and activate the stem when placed near that Orphic port. It's a USB full of nanites. Jam it into your USB nanite port. Where's my shit? You're the first one to pick up on that. It's literally a USB port for drugs. Well, I mean, like, I super identify with this because, like, I'm a real big oh my god, bro! Somebody shoot him! He's mauling me. That was written out because of how the lore would conflict with laws and precedents set in previous writings. I'm not familiar with those, so I literally wouldn't care. But I'm real big into like cyberpunk style stuff, so I'm very here for oh Jesus Christ. For yes, good. This guy set this to flak. Like human body modification to the extreme is just a thing I'm super about. Do you know how we got the automatons, the history behind their creation, and how they are now rampant across half the verse? My understanding, and I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong, is that the automatons are a post-creation of the cyborg faction, who were basically rebelling against Super Earth due to like being treated as second-class citizens, and so they were like, "Well, fuck this. We're not going to be second-class citizens. We'll just go leave and start our own penal colony." And Super Earth just wasn't about that, and then they tried to expand because obviously population and everything like that. And so things got really ugly with the cyborgs and like something about the machine rejecting the flesh or the flesh rejecting the machines and everything. And then so the cyborgs were like, okay, let's just download our consciousness into full-blown machines because that's better than living in these grotesque forms, and we get the benefits of like machine longevity. Could be very off base, could be very on target. Not exactly sure. Yeah, okay. I mean, right. That was a super Earth propaganda given description of they're rebelling. Right? It's like, well, even if they're not rebelling in like actuality, like I am a good citizen of Super Earth. I followed the directions. I listened to the propaganda while I ate my super flakes. Ah. Gotcha. Well, okay, but the cyborgs were Illuminate wiped out, or like legitimately we wiped them out because we wiped out the Illuminate and I just killed 600 of them. So, legit wiped out. We nuked that planet from orbit. It was the only way to be sure. So like Cyberstan is just a bunch of craters and a dream. It was the only way to be sure. Well, it had to be me. Somebody else might have gotten it wrong. Right? We're talking about that same dude, right? We didn't have the tech to remove the planet like we did Meridia, or that would have happened. So as far as the lore is concerned, you really believe that the Helldivers have no issue, like Super Earth has no issue planet cracking half the galaxy if that's what it takes? Because at that point, when do we take control of the Meridia wormhole and just start carting it around, or at what point do we use the the what was it, the Penrose facility? Like I think we have to make a new one. I think we lost our current one. It didn't survive. At what point do we make another one of those and then just shaft this thing straight at Cyberstan? Because otherwise, we have to have some absolutely ludicrous way to what's the word I'm looking for? To shut the hole, right? If the Illuminate didn't return, we'd fake it till they made it. Know what I mean? Yeah, I think so. I think I follow what you're putting out there with that one. So now that the DSS is down, do we start building DSS 3.0? Is there room in the lore for a new orbital super weapon for Super Earth? Yeah, no, I mean, out of game, obviously that's the case. Like holy shit, guys, send help! No, I know what you're thinking, Lightning Spire, but we're not doing that right now. Okay, so hold on. Let me. You should see the second set of terminals being activated in game. The DSS to use the DSS upon use. The devs are doing that stuff. I just know it's in the pipeline. Oh, okay. So your level of like when shit happens is basically the same as ours. You're just behind what's happening. So you know what's coming, you just have zero idea when. Oh, Chaos Divers? Lore implications of Chaos Divers? Is that something I'm even allowed to know about? Oh, all right. I asked a forbidden question. Well, awesome. I'll be looking out for you. Feel free to hit me up anytime. I'm generally on about 1 a.m. CST US. So, oh shit, I completely whiffed that grenade toss. Um basically every day. So, I'll be here. You have a great night. I appreciate the convo. It was really fun.